Well, it has been like 9 months since I updated a video on the Abrams project that I had been working on last year. And it wasn't because I wanted to secretly do work and not display it. It was because, honestly, I got distracted and moved on. It happens to me sometimes, as I'm sure it does with a lot of modelers and other hobbyists. So what I thought I would do is, because there have been a couple questions from folks who I know have been doing this at different stages, and this probably comes too late for some of you, maybe not for others. I'm just going to give a quick update on what I've done, where I am, and that's it. So, a couple things. I think I left off with kind of moving into this 8 and 9 section, getting the this carriage in the back put together, and then doing the mesh and some of the little bits that go on the side, like the cables and things like that. And then you'll recall I'd already done the tracks through a different kit. So, speaking of the tracks, before I show you what I've got, I did want to answer a question of someone who had asked me about the tracks that come with the kit, because I had chosen to use the different one. They asked if the tracks that came in the kit were rubber. The answer is yes. I don't know how good the lighting is, but this is it's basically just like a rubber, and they're labeled. I don't know if you can see that there, but they're labeled M1 Abrams, and the instructions show you using like a screwdriver to kind of like a hot screwdriver to melt the push it in and then melt the pins down to create one piece. There you go, with a heated screwdriver. But again, I opted not to do that and to do the tracks that were all kind of articulated and went together painfully slow. But I thought it would add a really nice quality. So let me just show you what I've got so far. And put these aside. Let's start with the bottom, with the base, with the whole. So it is complete and put together. We'll start like this is the top view. So it's done. It's dusty because it's been sitting on a shelf as opposed to in the box for the last few months. Here is a kind of an upside down look at it. I did assemble it. I did paint it like primer. I used a Vallejo surface primer. It's not this one, but I used this brand, and I think I used their is it Dunkelgelb? I think it's their German yellow. So I used that to kind of get it on, and I figured I would would cover it with something that's a little more in the sand family, but I just wanted a primer that was close to what I wanted before I put a real color on it. Anyway, so this guy's done and it's together. I did make the decision, let me see if I can do this, to glue the tracks against the road wheels in certain spots. So I get a little bit of movement, but the whole thing doesn't like hang loose. It actually I think it looks better like this, so this is the way I went with it. So there's that, and then here is the top finished. I'll move this out of the way just to get the contrast there. So the turret and everything, it's done. All of the parts are on. I know probably some people would have painted things first and then put them together, and probably that's the right way to do it. I guess I should do air quotes, right way to do it. But I wanted to get it all together, and I figured I would use my airbrush to do a lot of the painting and then use a regular brush to do detailing and washing and filtering or whatever. But if you recall from step 9, it was putting a lot of this stuff together. 8 and 9 were putting these things on, and then putting like these cables are here now in place, kind of glued in there. Those were fun to clean off because they have the little, like there's texture on the cable, and then you have a mold line that runs along it too that needs to be cleaned, but I think it worked all right. Anyway, I modeled this open and back. That should be good to go. I did mask this with liquid mask, and then, wait, was that one? No, I'm sorry, it was over here. That I modeled close. I did mask the here and the liquid mask and then primed. I never went back and scraped it off because I'm a goober. So we'll see if that ever actually does come off, or if those are just going to be, like, I might end up having to paint those blue or black, and then I went to all that trouble to do clear windows that I didn't need to do. Anyhow, I think this looks good. A couple things to point out. Not a couple things, one thing in particular. You'll notice that on this mesh they give you, let me see if you can see it, right here where my finger is, I had to kind of glue, and it got a little messy, and then I have like patches in a couple places along those support struts where the glue is a little patchy. And you know, I think once I do some shading and stuff, it'll tone it down a little bit, but I probably would have done it differently had I thought about it. But it's a first timer's mistake, and I'm okay with it. Like, it's the way it'll sit and the way it'll be on a shelf once I do finally finish it. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Anyhow, these guys, I mean, they're done. In terms of the modeling, the putting it together. And I'm saying that, but I did remember before I close this out, I did remember that there were probably a couple extra accessories that they had provided in the accessory part list, which is like on the back after step 9. So there were a couple things, and I was going to put these together and actually put them on, or put some of them on. So I will probably, like the jerry cans and that kind of stuff, so I'll probably do a little work on that. I don't know that I'll update or anything. These are pretty easy. In fact, I think I had one of them already modeled in on there on the back, like right here. So they snap together, they mold lines clean off, and then they paint up really easily. So I'll probably do a couple of those to finish it off before I do decals and weathering. And no promises on this, guys, but if and when I do end up doing the painting, I'll probably, you know, do kind of a final version. But for now, I'm going to call this the build part done, and if I decide to do any painting, I will come in and update that. But anyway, I'm happy to answer any questions. If anyone else starts this later on and wants to know what my experiences were, or wants to know you know, if I can pull something out and take a picture or show, I'm happy to do that. But I won't do any more formal updates on this bad boy. It was super fun to do, frustrating on the tracks, but fun to do. Probably a little bit more advanced for a first time modeling kit than I should have. Whoops, than I should have bitten off. But I'm still not unhappy that I chose to do it. I can't put it together now. I'm pretty stoked to be able to say I'd finished it. I think there it is. I think I'll be more stoked once I can actually get it painted and put it on my shelf at work. But for now, we're going to call this complete. And thanks everyone for all of the views and the likes, and seriously all the comments and questions. Appreciate that. That is it for now, and I'm going to go back to doing other projects I'm working on. I've got little space bears that I'm doing a Gundam diorama, but not Gundam. But anyway, thanks, and appreciate it again. Bye.